Hey guys and gals, let's take a look at the Space Science Lab by LEGO City. This is set number 60439, contains 560 bricks, retails for $34.99, and the set was provided by the LEGO Group for early reviews. So thank you kindly LEGO for sending this to me. Well, this looks like your typical garden variety LEGO City space set. Those are nice dome pieces. I hope those are not scratched. Probably are. And get some figures and stuff like that. And here's the back. So this opens up. So it looks like it is a complete model, and you can fold it out and play inside of it and stuff. And if these come in scratched, I'm going to tell you right now, it'll get a failing grade. I'm really getting hard on that. So LEGO could correct this in this box. How will we know? Well, let's open it up. I always like to see what kind of parts are always in these, so that's what we're going to do today. And yes, they still sound all stuffed up and congested. I'm still trying to battle over that nasty flu that one of my co-workers decided to give me, and they already got a piece of my mind. So we got numbered bags. Looks like the individuals. Now I don't know if this is a modular build or not. Wait, did LEGO actually pack these separate? Really? LEGO, did you actually listen? Wonder how bad the rest of it is. Well, I was already prepared to scream and holler and all that stuff, but no. That's exceptional right there. Well, we haven't checked the rest of it yet. Alright, let's open up the envelope to see what we got in here. Boy, that's just tearing apart. And I bet this is cake with stickers. Yep, well, that's not too bad. Some people said they've been cooling down on stickers, but we don't know yet. Alright, so we got booklet 3. There's the stickers right there. That's not too bad, but I was hoping those would be printed. Oh, we got 4 books. Maybe each bag belongs to a book. There's the first one. And yeah, you get 4 instruction manuals and a set of stickers. And looks like we have 4 bags of bricks. And we got this one here. I was hoping those would be transparent. They looked like they were on the box. Is that what they were? I don't even have the box now, but on here they're not. Well, still. Well, I'm going to head over to my second channel, build this, come back here, and we'll take a closer look. Here's the Space Science Lab all assembled. Let's start off to the left here. We got this little camera thing. I think that's what this is. And what it is our gentleman in the wheelchair. He can attach right on here and he can control the camera. So that's pretty cool. You can fly in space and take pictures of the space lab and that door and all sorts of stuff. And we'll pop the figure out and I'll show you what he looks like here. The visor does raise up and down. I think he's got a single-sided head. Yep, they both do. I know the other one does. And then we'll put him back in there. And now that's a sticker. Some of this is printed, but some of it's also stickers, as we saw with the unboxing. Whoa, where are you going? Here's the other astronaut, or astro woman, or astro lady. She's got a single-sided head as well. And we got ourselves a space alien, space baby alien wearing a helmet. Why? I don't know. Maybe he's afraid he's going to knock his noggin on that corner there. We don't know. And for the most part, that's not bad for just accessories. Very minimal, but it's enough to make the build pretty exciting. Now, this is pretty fun in itself. This is the Space Lab. Or the Space Science Lab. You got the battery. This does pop out if you want to change out your batteries. And in addition, this also can detach here too. I would detach this, except it's very hard to put it back on. So, and here's the back. We got some windows there. We got a hatch. So if you want, you can lift this up and you can attach other space sets to this. Remember that tram or the space station or the or that space tower? You can attach all this in there and have one big massive space theme. This set was really thought out very well for that, because you can, everything just fits together. Now this thing does open up. Now if you saw, there's no holes, there's no gaps or missing backs or anything like that. This is self-contained. So here's the door. This does open up, and it's pretty dark in there. We'll take a look at that here right now. And don't worry, we'll probably do a close-up shot. We'll see how well it turns out on the viewfinder, but I'll probably do a close-up. This right here just pops open, so just do that, and then we can unfold it. So see right there, it's a fully playable model. We got this weird plant thing in the middle, and here's the entry point right here, the plant thing with all the vines, with the purple frogs that want to kiss you, and we got a sleeping quarters in here, and looks like this is a little laboratory area. It's not too bad, and these right here are just pretty much stationary. You don't want to bend these or anything like that. Well, what better way to explore this with a close-up shot? So let's do that. Well, first, if this little guy wants to stand up, there we go. Now let's go for the close-up shot. Here's a better shot of that camera contraption. A couple of monitors in the back, and sadly those are stickers. I wish everything was printed in this. This would make the set really high-end. I'll save my thoughts for the review on that one. There's that weird plant thing. And there's that door in the back. You can lift that up to let the fresh air in if you want. The space air. There's the space alien baby, and there's the other astronaut. I noticed since a lot of people like watching the close-up tours. Here's this side here. Now, like I said, you can pop this piece off here in the back. Whoops. And then you can expand onto that if you choose. These space sets are highly customizable. You could do all sorts of stuff. And for an example, you can actually have your spaceman sleep in the bed there. You have to take off the backpack, but there's enough clearance for it. And this little spot here can fit between the legs to keep them from falling off. Not too bad. Now rolling this thing up is not too terribly hard. Just start folding things up. Now it's hard to do this one-handed, so we're going to slowly roll it up here. And I don't have a cameraman, so that's the best I can do. See, I can't do it with one hand here, but I can do that. Let's see here. And it just snaps right in there. Some of the stuff up here doesn't line up very well. You're going to have to manipulate it. See, of course, I'm not a lefty either, so let's see why that ain't locking in there. Well, something's not locking in. And no, I'm not scripting that out. I want you to see the mistakes. There we go. Take a look at that door there. And you could just raise that up, but you could see it's pretty dark in there, huh? Even with the light overhead, it's just, this is all transparent black. And these are just expansion slots. There's the rear window, and this part here too. And that's essentially what this is. And overall, I'm happy with the way the build turned out. As you can see, it's a fully playable model. But here are my thoughts. Let's start the review with play value, and as you saw, there's plenty of things to do in here. You do have access to all the interior spaces of the laboratory, and in addition, you got the camera, you got 2 minifigures, and a space alien baby with a space helmet. I'm still not sure why. But other than that, though, it does have a lot of play value. And in addition, this can be combined with all the other LEGO space sets. So as you saw right here, you can snap things on here and add on to it if you wish, and it can be played as is. So this is a great set, even just standalone. So you don't even have to buy all the other space sets. It can be played with just as is. So that's a really good positive. Build experience, well, I'm going to be honest with you, I was getting kind of bored with it. I've done enough space sets last me a lifetime already, and I think it's the color scheme. It just seems a bit too sterile. I've read some comments from the last few space sets that I've done, and some of you said it just seems too clean looking, and I have to agree. It's the white and the grays just makes it look too modern. I'm just used to old classic space. But now build quality is pretty good. I didn't have anything fall off, and everything was easy to follow except for the building instructions. If you watch the second channel footage, you're probably going to notice I had mentioned there was a few places in the manual where parts were put on and they were just suddenly disappeared. So they'll have to go back in and revise the manual. So it was kind of confusing there. I was even scratching my head a few times. At the end, though, it does work out. You can figure out what's going on. So hopefully by then, when LEGO produces the set for retail, they have corrected the issue. Now, from my observation, this set possibly can be a collaborative build. Each one of these pieces does snap together at the very end. So it might be possible that up to 4 people can build this space lab at the same time. Comfortably 2, but I think 4 would be pretty good with this one. So it is possible. So collaborative build, it is a possibility with this set. As I mentioned earlier, this can be combined with the other space sets, or if you want, you can drop this into a custom theme, or you can use the parts from the set to make something else. I'm already eyeballing the dome pieces. Now, there's one thing I had note that even though if these were individually, or these were packaged together, one of these dome pieces had some scuffs on it, which is going to start degrading down the score on this set. So my score is going to be an 8.5. I'm dinging off just a little bit for the discrepancy in the manual, a little bit for the stickers, but I'm dinging off a whole point just because of one of these dome pieces. Remember I said I was going to fail it? Well, I couldn't because LEGO actually packaged these in their own bag. I understand things just, they can't avoid that, right? I mean, at least LEGO made the attempt. But other than that, that was the only thing wrong with this. If this wasn't scuffed, it would have been a 9.5, but I have to ding it down to an 8.5. But that's my score for this. But whoever's into space, this is not a bad set. It's fully playable. You can expand on it with the other space sets. It's a nice set all around, but for me personally, the build just seemed a bit dry, but the final results are pretty good. It's a nice playable model. But tell me what you think.